Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Today I am going to share with you how we definitively know that the Trump shooter was not selected by any type of shadow government, by any elite organization, or anything like that. Most of you guys know I have extensive and very personal experience with assassinations all around the globe of all kinds. That's where I'm going to be able to share something I don't think there's anyone else on YouTube who can give the same perspective. In fact, I'm sure that there's not, as what I'm about to give you. This, for a lot of people, may not be super easy to understand at first. It might take a little thought. For those of you who have a little bit of maybe tactical experience or have seen some type of environment that involves firearms and danger and difficulties and, even possibly shootings, killings, assassination attempts, stuff like that. If you guys have a little bit of experience, you may be able to understand this a little better. Those of you who don't, just take your time and you'll figure it out. I'm going to lay it all out here for you. The glaring indicator here is the lack of skill, preparation, and training, of course, on both sides, law enforcement and the shooter. And I actually proved to you in a different video whether or not it was an inside job, so definitely check that out. But the dead giveaway that this young man wasn't trained or selected by anyone with any tactical knowledge or experience is just his extreme lack of skill, lack of preparedness. The first thing is we can see that he used an AR-15, right? Nobody who has an inkling of tactical experience would use an AR-15 at 120 to 160 yards to try and assassinate someone. It's beyond stupid. And another thing is the ballistics. A lot of people are saying that it's fake because he just had a little hole in his ear. Well, that's why, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that an AR-15 really isn't designed to kill. It was mostly designed so that low-level grunt soldiers could carry more ammunition because they don't know how to shoot well. Let's be honest, the genius behind the gun design of the AR-15 designed it in a .308 caliber, and the US government backed it down. So we can tell by the firearm of choice that this is a person who, mom's basement guy that comments hate and trolls Bone Tactical and has no idea what he's doing or what he's talking about because he chose an AR-15. We see the tiny hole that went through Trump's ear, and that is that's why a professional would not have chosen an AR-15. You don't need a lot of shots in the tactical situation that he was in, so even a hunting rifle would have been highly preferable to an AR-15. He shot for the head. That's a rookie mistake. He was off by, a headshot requires a T-zone shot. He should have used a large enough caliber to use a body shot and have it be guaranteed effective. The Magnum rounds that the Secret Service took him out with would have been the desirable choice, either .338 Lapua, 300 Win Mag hunting rifle would have been great, but he missed the T-zone by maybe 4 or 5 inches. Those of you guys that don't know what the T-zone is, just look it up. So again, just poor planning, no tactical experience. That tells us that it wasn't any kind of a big conspiracy. In looking for somebody who can shoot well and can kill, if you're not going to pick somebody who has done these kinds of things before, if you're going to pick a rookie, a young person, these organizations, specifically the government, they know, anybody at any sniper school knows that the old country boys that come in there that have hunted their whole lives, they already start off way ahead of the gang. They know how to stalk. They know breath control. They know how the nerves get when that big deer walks out. And a lot of the stuff is similar. Now, of course, it requires some type of sociopath to actually just kill a human being, especially over a perceived political difference. But these are all indicators on their own and proof when put together that this Trump shooter was not selected by any kind of expert, anybody tactical, shadow, you know, anybody with money or power that could have done a little bit of consulting. So, you know, I could tell you more if I had access to more information. I'm just a civilian like you guys. It's my experience that allows me to definitively tell you, you know, some certain things. Actually telling you why he did it or what was behind it would require me to have access to information I don't have access to. So unfortunately, I can't tell you that. What I can tell you definitively is that this gentleman, if we can call him that, was not skilled, prepared. He didn't choose the right weapon or anything like that. Now, he used a rangefinder. He was semi-close in his shots. You could tell that he, you know, maybe had a few months of practice. All of the compilation of errors and planning, formulating a terrible plan really, is what tells us there was no one with tactical training or experience involved in the planning of this shooting. This guy may have got on some forums, looked around on the internet, and it led him to believe that an AR-15 was a good rifle to choose, that a headshot would have been preferable. Now, the things that were pretty amazing that they were able to work out how they did, you know, the area he was at on the roof would have provided a stable shot had he known what he was doing. And I don't think there was any luck involved with him being able to get up on the roof and do everything he did. I don't think it indicated that there was necessarily pre-planning either. I think what it indicated was for planned gross negligence, and I discussed that in the other video where I talk about whether or not this was an inside job. For those of you for saying that it's an inside job, if you consider an inside job to be that the people planning the president's security planned for it to fail, then yes, it was an inside job. I don't think anyone selected this gentleman. I think that the people planning Trump's security were just letting it go to the wayside so much, and if you just, that's all you have to do. You don't have to select a person to come do a crazy thing. We live in a crazy world. You don't have to plan for somebody to come do a crazy thing if you're in charge of Trump's security. The people in charge of planning Trump's security, all they had to do was put operators that don't know what they're doing. All they had to do was allow for breakups in the chain of communication and misunderstandings, allow for misunderstandings in communication and responsibilities. Whose responsibility is that? Put people in charge who are scared to, police officers who are scared to confront an armed man. Let those guys be in charge, give those guys the power and the responsibility, people who shouldn't have it. That's all you have to do if you're in charge, to open up, to allow for this guy, former President Trump, to be shot at. The attempt was unsuccessful, mainly because the guy was so unprepared, but it was allowed to happen because it was allowed to happen. Had they selected the person to do it, as well as allowing for an opening in Trump's security defenses, then I think he would have definitely been killed, almost definitely. He wasn't killed, not because they didn't allow for an opening in his security, but simply because it was a person who just wasn't capable of getting that far. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. I'm glad that I can shed some light on how things like this work for you guys, because I know that, you know, most people really wouldn't know where to start when analyzing an assassination attempt. So I'm glad that we're able to lay it out for you guys here, and I'm glad I have this channel to do it with. I will close out by saying probably the most important thing, and the other day, and you know, I don't know President Trump, and I'm not going to vouch for somebody that I don't know, but he said something I really liked, and he said that it was Providence, And so what I'll say, closing this out, is bigger than any kind of skill, experience, planning, bigger than any of that is God. The big man upstairs who is responsible for, at the end of the day, the final say on everything. Now, this is a fallen world we live in. The devil has dominion for the time being, of course, because God is allowing it for now. If you don't, I highly recommend you get into the Bible if you want to find out the real power. It's not any kind of body armor, it's the armor of God, right? It's the armor of God that can protect you from everything. And that's most important to be remembered at the end of the day. Thanks for watching. Bone out.